Yeah. So from the time I was a little kid, yeah, I think I was at 76 and 80, or not 80, that was Russia. 76, 84, 88, 90, or 2000, all that. Not 90, 2000 rather, yeah. So several of them. I've been to quite a few.
How did you get to go to those?
Well, my parents took me to a couple of them. Well, let's see, Montreal, I went with my family. At the Los Angeles Olympics '84, I was on the national team and in the at the training camp. So we were able to go. We trained in Big Bear and went down to the event, and then just on after that. So it's a great event. It's really a lot of fun. Just everything that goes on in that atmosphere but the Olympics, they're changing a lot. More and more commercial. They're more and more. I think just the attitudes, the motivation of a lot of the athletes, it's a lot different now, and not better or worse. It's just it's different than it used to be, there's a lot of athletes I know, like Shelby Wilson that lives here locally, was Olympic champion in the '60s, and at that time there was no real training camp, no real training center. He had to train on his own. He had to, he wrestled most of the styles. It was a different type of thing. I remember when I was a kid, the Olympic trials, the final Russ lost to make the Olympic team, which I was at because the training camp was in Colorado Springs, took place in a church gymnasium with about just families of people there. It was just in a little church in the gym there, and that was where the Olympic trials took place. Whereas you look at this past year, in Iowa City, where it was 15,000 people. So those were great Olympic teams back then. Had a lot of medalists. Probably we're probably putting more guys on the stand than we have in recent years for sure. And so it's just a different time and a different atmosphere. I mean, after the collegiate season, but even during that, each summer I competed a lot of freestyle, was on the national team through college, was alternate on the world team a couple of times through then. And, my goal coming out of high school was always, to make an Olympic team and to continue to pursue that. I wrestled a lot of freestyle when I was a kid. So, I threw my hat in the ring each year and was, like I say, I didn't actually make the Olympic team, but I was on the national team every year and was alternate on the world team, Olympic team, so got to wrestle in a lot of the prep up to that, and then the training, through our club at Iowa, the Hockey Wrestling Club, and it was just also then with national team practices and things like that. It was a pretty all-encompassing. It was a 24/7 job. Well, the weights were different. I competed in college at 190 pounds. The weight for freestyle, it was either around 180 pounds or 198 pounds. So I was kind of in between. I probably could have gone down to 180, but it was better for our club if I went up to 198, which was a little big. But it was that's where I wrestled pretty much my last few years when I was wrestling freestyle. Oh yeah, I mean, two of the times I was an alternate was again to Mark Schultz and Jim Shear, who was a world silver medalist, and some guys like that. So I mean, I wrestled a lot of those guys. I wrestled a lot of a lot of world medalists, whether they be from Russia or Cuba or Bulgaria or wherever they might have been. I wrestled a lot of those guys over the year. Like I say, I was on the national team for several years, and so went to a lot of the tournaments.